Hello there everyone, my name is Amy, this is The Opinionated Woman, and it's that time of year again. It is the time of year when we look at my best books of the year so far. If you've been around these parts for a little while, I don't like to do the big video, the big jumbo video of every single book that I like this year. I like to split it into 6 months and 6 months because otherwise I completely forget what was in the books and I can't talk about them properly, and then the video ends up being so long. So we're just going through, I think there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 of my favorite books of this year. And yeah, I'm just going to work on them from top to bottom. And it just so happens that my favorite book happens to be at the bottom, but the rest of them are not ranked at all. These are just the books that caught my eye when I was reading through my book journal. So let's get into the favorites. The first one is my token straight, because yes, every single one of these other books are gay. And that is the most recent book that I've read, and that's Coasting by Elise Downing. This is about Elise. It's a memoir, and she decided one day that she organized, and 6 months later she set off to run the coast of Britain. And so she ran it clockwise from down by London. She just ran around the whole coast. And it's her journey and the things that she learned, and all these people that she stayed with, and the kind communities and things like that that she interacted with throughout her journey around her home. And it was absolutely wonderful. It was just so nicely written. It felt like you were along with the ride with her. It's something that I would never want to do in a million years. It sounds miserable. But the way that she talked about it and how honest she was about like crying on the verge of the dual carriageways, and having breakdowns every time her dad comes to run with her. It's really relatable, and it was just a good old time. So yeah, if you like memoirs, it doesn't matter if you don't like running. It really doesn't matter. I really recommend Coasting. Then a South African one, and that is Mermaid, Fillet by Arderne. I've been wanting to read this book forever. It is described as a noir crime novel, and it's about like the seedy underbelly of Cape Town, but it's also set in a magical realism setting. So like people can order Mermaid Gatsby's, and like Mermaid is like a black market kind of thing, like abalone is. And it follows like a bunch of different characters, and they all get given a nickname. And the one person who like we sort of initially follow doesn't have a name. They go by they them pronouns, and they just refer to as the Bangat. And they have to find a Tamagotchi that was in a car during a murder or an accident or something like that. They have to find this Tamagotchi from years before, and it's the story that revolves around this and the weird events that happen in the community surrounding what's happening in this like crime family. It's really fucking interesting. It's really funny, and I did a whole vlog on it, so I'll link the vlog down below for you to watch if you're interested. Then a literary fiction, and that is The Offing by Benjamin Myers. Isn't the cover like, this is like literally one of my favorite covers. I specially ordered this from the UK so that I didn't have to use the cover that is in South Africa, because it's really ugly, like sinfully so. This is a story about a guy called Robert who decides to just go wander England. This isn't a memoir, it's a novel. And it's after the Second World War. He's come back from, he's like a teenager, and he's just sort of making his way across the countryside and sleeping rough. And he comes across this woman's house, and she sort of takes him in and feeds him, and he helps to clean up part of her property, and he starts learning about her and her partner, which is a woman who had died a little while ago, and he found her poetry in a old shed that he was renovating. And we start to get like the backstory to this woman that he's just met randomly and has just treated him kindly. And it's just got really beautiful nature writing. Like, the nature writing is stunning, and I love nature writing. It just describes things so perfectly, and it's not even long. It's just absolutely perfectly written, and I was really, really happy with this one. And yeah, as I said, a little bit gay as well. Gay. Then one that I almost didn't read because I thought it was going to be too sad, and then I read it and it made me cry. The Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue, another stunning cover. This is a historical fiction set during the Spanish influenza during the First World War, in Dublin in 1918. And we're following a nurse, what is her name? Julia. And she's working in the maternity ward at the hospital, but for all the pregnant women who have the flu, at the Spanish influenza at the same time. And she comes in one day and she gets a helper from like a nearby orphanage who comes to help her. She's like around her age. And she sort of goes through her looking after these women. They suffer baby deaths. They suffer deaths of the mothers. They just constantly get thrown all these intensely horrible interactions, and all of their supplies are so limited because it's the war. But at the same time, there's like a really beautiful relationship forming at the same time, and like a real camaraderie in the people that do make it through. And I thought it ended so beautifully. It ended so nicely. I was like, oh my God. I was like, so like, I was a mess when I read the end of this book, but like, it sounds dire, but I really, really recommend it. It's like, if you can cry, and if you can deal with the death of mothers and babies, because that does happen multiple times. I recommend this one if you have the wherewithal. Then another South African one, and another gay one, and that is A Soft Landing by Wisani Mushwana. This follows our main character Anzani, who lives in Cape Town, and he's really going through it at the moment. He has just come back from a trip after being called home that his mom's mental health is like really deteriorated, and he has to go take her to a mental institution. And he comes home and he's sort of disconnecting from the people around him. Like, he's not wanting to see the person that he was dating. He's sort of like trying to find connection through Grindr hookups. And so we're jumping between his present day life, him just going through work and Grindr connections and like dissociating. And then we're shown his past, where him and his friend Neo are young and they're in love, and they have promised that they're going to get out of their small town together until Neo dies. And we get a whole, that's on the back of the book, it's not a spoiler. And we get that whole story, which sort of explains why Anzani is the way he is. And again, a perfect ending, so well executed, exactly what I would have wanted for this ending. And done in so few pages, just tip top. Now another one that's gay. It's not South African, but it's gay and it's black, and that is Rainbow Milk by Paul Mendez. This book is a coming of age, and it's following a guy called Jesse, who at the beginning of the story is working as a sex worker in London. And we also get a bit of his backstory. He grew up with his mother and a white stepfather in the Jehovah's Witness community. And it's about him growing up in that sort of stifling community, and how once breaking free from that community, he sort of was out in the world on his own, trying to figure out his life and his preferences and who he is and what drives him and what he wants in life. And it's, yeah, and like dealing with his racial identity as well, and like the way that people, especially like customers, will view him in a certain way. And it's beautifully written. And again, it's very similar to A Soft Landing. If you like that one, you'll like this one. If you like this one, you'll like that one. Like a really well written character development into this character, figuring out who he is and his own self-worth. And I thought it was beautifully executed. I was so chuffed that I picked this one up. Then one that I was very chuffed with, because I'll tell you now, and that is People Person by Candice Carty-Williams. I met Candice Carty-Williams like a month or so ago at a book event. She was here for the Franschhoek Book Festival, and she did an event in town, and she signed my book for me, which was really cool because I had read this book previous to meeting her. and I really enjoyed it. So it's about these 5 siblings. And one night, Dimple, one of the sisters, something happens and she has to message her sister and be like, I need you. And all of the siblings come together and they all, try and cover up and repair something that Dimple has done that's very bad. But the thing is that these siblings don't know each other. They are all the spawn of one trash man called Cyril. And Cyril got he got 4 different women pregnant. 2 of the siblings have the same mom. And he just sort of spreads his seed wherever and fucks off and never talks to his fucking kids again, and then appears. And at the beginning of the story, we're introduced to all these characters because Cyril has realized that most of his kids are dating age and they're probably around the same locale. So he's like, shit, I don't want them to fuck each other by mistake. That's basically his problem. So he just unannounced gets a car, his ridiculous car, and he drives to all the houses and my neighbor cat is in the braai. She's shouting at birds. Picks up all the children, is like, these are your brothers and sisters, you must talk, puts them in a park and was like, talk to each other. It's ridiculous. And each of these characters is so beautifully mapped out, and their relationships, like, I'm from a big family. I have 3 blood related siblings and 5 stepbrothers. So the sibling relationships between these are so wonderful, and the character of Cyril is so real. Ooh. He's just, it's just like got the incredible amount of mess, because as I told her, she has a great capacity to write mess. And I hear she said that she's writing another novel at the moment, so I'll be keeping my eye out for that one. But everybody talks about Queenie when it comes to Candice Carty-Williams, but seriously, you need to check out People Person. And now we come to my favorite book of the year so far, and it's another memoir. Oh, wait, we're not there yet. One of my books is actually my sibling Jay's books, and it's in their bookshelves. So that is Pageboy by Elliot Page. I've got 3 memoirs in here, and they're all gay. So Pageboy is the memoir of Elliot Page, famous actor for, like, was he nominated? He was nominated for an Oscar for Juno. That's where I was introduced to Elliot Page. I absolutely loved Juno. I loved Whip It. When he came out as a lesbian, I sobbed. And then when he came out as trans, my sibling sobbed. Because I'm the lesbian and they're the trans one. So he's really meant a lot to us. So, like, when we decided to get the book, we were like, okay, yeah, we definitely both need to get it and read it. And it's written by him, and he's very, very good with words. And I've seen some people say that they don't like this because it's not linear. Are you hunting in my garden, you little fluffy fuck? She's trying to hunt lizards in my garden. She's very cute. Very cute. Anyway, I liked that the story wasn't linear. It was very, like, it was kind of stream of consciousness. Like, he would tell you anecdotes from different points. And he talks about what it's like being a child actor. He talks about trying to be closeted in the industry before he came out as a lesbian, and then in a whole different story when it comes to being trans. And yeah, it was just very raw and very honest, and it felt like such a good window into his life. I really enjoyed it, and it was unlike any other celebrity memoir that I've read before. So yeah, if you like memoirs and you're a fan of Elliot Page, I highly recommend going to read that one. And then we've got my favorite book of the year so far, and it is another memoir, and that's Golem Girl by Riva Lehrer. This book is following Riva, who is she's got spina bifida, and she's an artist, and this one is quite linear, and it follows through her life as, she's growing up being disabled, growing up being queer, exploring her sexuality, like all of these kinds of things. And throughout the book, we're peppered with her paintings, because she does a series, look at this one, Aren't those colors incredible? She has painted a few series. My tripod died. That was really annoying. So I'm just going to hold this for the last little part of this. So basically she's done a whole bunch of series of different disabled people that she meets and their stories. And it goes through her creating art and learning about disabled bodies through the medium of meeting other people in her community. And it's just, it's so rich in storytelling, but it's also like having the paintings in there and the stories of all the other people that she meets. It's just such a great read, and I recommend it to everyone. So those are my favorite books of the year so far. Have you read any of these? What is your favorite book of the year so far? Please, please, please tell me your favorite book of the year so far in the comments down below, and I might do a video where I read books that you guys recommend. That would be nice. If you want more from me, there's a Kofi link down below, which is like a little one-time tip jar if you want to support my channel. And that, oh no, wait, there's a TikTok and an Instagram link there as well, because I'm very active on there if you want more content from me. But other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, and I'll check you next time.